evening. My name is Kate Byer. I'm one of the Senior Associate Directors in the Admissions Office and also a proud 2007 grad of Hobart and William Smith. Thank you so much for joining us this evening for our second virtual session of the year. This one's called What's Next? Post-Enrollment Timeline and Expectations. So just to quickly go over how these work and how it's going to run tonight, we do ask that everyone stay muted because we are recording all of these sessions. So if someone doesn't have a chance to attend this live, they will all be posted on our website, and you'll have the opportunity for all of our sessions for you to go back and view them. You can use the chat if you want to ask questions. You can also send questions privately to me if you'd prefer, but please feel free to use the chat. Things come up, I will be dropping links and information in there. But at the end too, if you're feeling particularly brave, you are welcome to come off camera or come off mute and ask your questions to our two lovely participants tonight as well. So tonight we're going to go over the first year experience, everything from class registration, advising, housing, all of those great things. So without further ado, I'm going to let my two lovely colleagues introduce themselves and kick things off for us.
Thanks, Kate. Hi, everyone. I'm Susan Pleiner, and I'm an associate provost and faculty member, and I'm also the director of the first year academic program. And so along with my colleague, we're going to tell you a little bit about both your campus life and your academic life to get you started. So, Shelley?
Hi, everyone. Thanks for taking the time to join us tonight. Susan and I are thrilled to be here. I'm Shelley Basilio. I work in the Campus Life office as the Associate Vice President of Campus Life. I have the best job on campus because I get to think about the first year experience outside of the classroom and athletics. So thinking about your housing experience, thinking about orientation, meal plan, fun on campus. So I am thrilled to be here with all of you today talking about all of the awesome ways that we plan to engage with you and your family between now and the start of move-in in August. So welcome.
So we are super excited to actually meet you folks because I think the majority of you should be early decision admits. And so you are enrolled, and we're so excited that you're joining us at HWS. I'm wondering if a few of you might come off mute and just tell us why you chose HWS. Why HWS?
Bonus points for being brave. You can do that. You can do hard things.
Not the parents, though. Not the parents.
Hi, everyone. My name is Joey, and I thought that when I first found out about HWS going into the college search process, one of my big things was, what's a college that I'm going to go to and is really going to prepare me for pretty much anything that life has for me. And after going to an open house, I was informed that one of the main goals for students at HWS is go there, figure out what you like, and take anything that even at first you may not have thought that you might have wanted to do, but still do it anyway. And who knows, you might like it, you might not, but in the end, it'll prepare you for whatever life has to throw at you after college. So yeah.
Awesome, Joey. That is awesome. Welcome. We're super psyched to have you. And I'm gonna I'll come back around if anybody else wants to be brave, but I'm gonna just respond to Joey's reason why he chose HWS and give you some more information about that. If you know what you want to study, awesome. And your advisor is going to help you pick the classes and get you into the classes so that you can pursue that. But if you don't know, like Joey is saying, like to explore all the things, your advisor is also going to help you to do that. And so let me tell you a little bit about how you're going to meet your advisor for the first time. Because you're early decision students, you are going to get preference to select your first year seminar. And the way that we work your coming into HWS, all first year students take a first year seminar, but it is not the same course. They're topic based. Faculty members get to choose a passion project of theirs. So it's not specific to, if they're a math professor, it doesn't have to be specific to math. If they're anthropology professor. It doesn't have to be specific to anthropology. Something they're interested in, they construct a course just for the incoming first-year students, and there's small seminars, anywhere from 12 to 16 students, capped at 16. And there'll be a list of them on the website and on our first year experience website that I think Kate can drop into the chat for us. Those are last year's first year seminars, but they will give you an idea of kind of the range of topics. But I'm in the process of gathering those courses and course descriptions so we can advertise them for you all. That portal will go live on March 1st, and you'll get a chance to choose your preferences for your first year seminar. And so you'll choose a whole bunch of them, and we'll do our best to get you into your top categories. So your first year seminar faculty member is your advisor for your first 2 years. And your advisor will meet with you in June. Our advising time is going to be between the 9th and the 20th of June. You'll get a letter from them as an introduction to being in their course and with how to sign up for an advising time with them. They run 45 minutes to an hour, and you'll meet your faculty member. You'll talk about what you like, what you don't like, what you think you might be interested in, what you think you might want to explore, and all those courses that are available to you will also be posted. So you'll be able to look through all the courses that are available for first year students. And then you'll select a range of 10, and then Shelley and I and a group of other folks will put you into your courses, and we'll send you your schedule in the middle of July. So when you first arrive on campus, and Shelley's going to talk about all that fun stuff, but you will have your first week of class for your first year seminar during orientation. So you'll start your FSEM class during orientation and have your first week, 3 hours, and then the rest of your classes will start the following Monday. So your advisor will be with you. You'll get to meet all of those students. You'll have a nice cohort based. And then I'll let Shelley talk about the living and learning community options as part of that. But so Joey, you can come and explore. So good choice.
Yes, Joey, thank you for being brave and being the first volunteer. So yeah, during orientation, you will have your first year seminar class with your advisor, who's also your professor. And we are cohort based at HWS. So we like to think about where, being a small place, we have the opportunity and the ability to put you in small groups. That first year seminar course that's capped at 16 students, those students are also going to likely be living on your floor or living in your building. So if you're, having a difficult time with the reading, or if you really enjoyed an article and you're looking to talk about that with someone, the folks who are in that course with you will be living near you, which is really, really awesome for community building, for engagement. And about 10 to 12 of our first year seminar courses are living learning communities. Those students all absolutely live on the same floor, and the faculty member actually comes into the residence halls and teaches the course on your floor. So it's really built on relationships. And if you are not an early morning person and you want to be able to roll right out of bed and into your classroom space, that could be a good option for you. Those faculty members also provide additional programming and event opportunities outside of the classroom as part of being a living and learning community. So we had a science-based living learning community, and just to give you an example, on a Friday afternoon, they tie-dyed lab coats together, right? So a lot of these events are built around the seminar, but they are additional opportunities to spend time with your peers, spend time with your faculty member who's your advisor outside of the class period, and really just get to know everyone and build those deep relationships. Another piece that we're really excited to share with you is Spark. Spark is unique to HWS and it occurs during orientation. So you'll absolutely have the lawn games, get to know you, tell me about your hometown, fun fact type of traditional orientation experience that your peers at other institutions will have. But what makes us special and makes us unique is something called a Spark program. 2 full days during orientation, you'll be with a group of folks who share a passion that you have. And so you'll have the opportunity, just like your first year seminar course, to be able to provide your preferences. And then in a small group, you are off to the races doing something fun together. This is non-academic. This is just to build different groups of peers who have similar interests that you have outside of the classroom. So you might be an avid fisherman and you might be in our fly fishing Spark on a boat in the middle of Seneca Lake for 2 days with the fishing club and Ben Risto, who is a faculty member at HWS and loves to go fishing, right? Or you might find yourself on a bus traveling around Seneca Lake to every single ice cream stand within a 30-mile radius over 2 days. You might learn how to knit. There's a lot of different options, and they're all based on the passion or interest area of a faculty member or staff member that's leading that trip. So you may really hit it off with a faculty member whom you never take a class with. And that's the kind of place that HWS is. You're going to know faculty, you're going to know staff, other students who you may not interact with in a classroom setting. So it's really exciting. Orientation is an awesome time, very fun. You'll meet lots and lots of new folks. And we're just really looking forward to kicking it off.
The other thing, just to make sure that you know, you'll also have one and maybe two upper class students in your first year seminar. And we have first year mentors in every first year seminar. And those are students that took first year seminars and were like, I really liked my mentor and I got a lot out of it. And they applied to be a first year mentor. And they'll help you also with your transition. You'll meet them during orientation. And some of the classes also have writing colleagues. First year seminars are kind of process-based writing. So your faculty, you'll have writing assignments, but they'll be scaffolded multiple drafts in a process. So that you're really engaging with the college level writing in the first year seminar. And there are students that are trained as writing colleagues and are in the writing and rhetoric and writing colleague minor. So you'll have upper class students in your courses as well, your first year seminars.
So I want to be sure that we are also answering the title of this Zoom, right? So what's next? What's the timeline? There's nothing you need to do between now and March 1st other than be excited about HWS. Starting March 1st, that portal will open and you'll see a whole checklist of items, ranging from filling out your housing preference form to selecting your choices for your first year seminar course and your Spark to uploading your health information. So one of the benefits of being early decision, right, is that you have early access to this portal, which means your preferences also will be considered differently as an ED student. So we want you to be sure that you're going in and that you're really taking the time to think about what's important to you in your experience and then filling out those forms on your portal. And Susan and I get many, many emails from students saying like, I'm having a hard time picking just 5 FSEMs. They all sound interesting or whatever, right? We will be sure to pop our emails in the chat. If you have any questions that we can help you with, whether it's related to the academic experience or the social sort of student life experience, we are more than happy to connect with you anytime during your journey from, today all the way through your 4 years at HWS. So we will know every single one of you, and we're excited.
We also both have taught and did teach first year seminars. and advise our students. So any questions that you have, we could keep talking at you. We're very excited that you're coming, and we're very excited to tell you all the things that are exciting about HWS, but we really want to answer your questions as well. So if you've got specific questions you're wondering about, this would be a good time. If not, we'll just talk at you. And if anybody else wants to say why HWS, we would love to hear.
Um, I'm Henry. Whoops. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Hi, Henry. Yep.
I have a question. I was looking on the website, and for the economics major, it says that Econ 160 requires a math placement exam or a math course. What would the time frame be for taking that placement exam?
Yeah, so Henry, great question. The math placement exam there'll be a link to it in your portal so once you're enrolled, you will have access to the math placement form through your portal. And so you'll just click on the link and you will take the test. I think there are 28 questions. I think there might be 20. There are 30 questions. 30 questions. There's 30 questions on it. So you want to allot. You can't stop and start again. So you just want to make sure you give yourself enough time. And we really just use that for placement processes, right? Your advisor will look at, we ask all first year students, regardless of whether you think you want to take a math class or an econ class, to take the math test so that we're able to guide you in our conversations as advisors. Because if a student may or may not know that at some point they're going to have to, as part of a major they might be interested in, take a course that would require the math score. And that will help me as an advisor to get you into the right classes so that you're ready when you need to take classes in that major. So it'll be in the portal. You don't have to worry about it. And it's an online thing from our math department. So you just take the test and you'll get a score, and it will show up. It will show up in your in your slate, and your advisor will have access to it.
So should we take the placement test before we register for courses, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Before you're advising, you will get a letter. So all this information will also be in the letter from your faculty member. So once we've placed you in, Shelley and I have placed you in your first year seminar, we will send you a letter from your faculty member that will introduce them and introduce the course, but also will give you a series of steps, schedule an appointment. But before you show up for your appointment, take the math test so you can have a conversation with your professor. If you're interested in pursuing languages, take the language test assessment for that language. So all that information will be in your portal, and it'll be a checklist, and you'll see exactly what you have to do.
I will say a word of caution. I had this happen to a student last year. When you're ready to do something like take your math placement, make sure you're ready. Make sure you're like mentally ready. You're in a good space. You have a good internet connection or whatever, because they don't let you retake it, right? Because you've already seen what's on it. So we can work around, we can connect you with the head of the department if something comes up. But my advice is just make sure you're like ready to sit down and take this class, that exam.
Thank you.
Henry, it's also not meant to be stressful,
Yeah.
right? The point of the math placement is just to make sure that we're placing you in the correct section of math. So it's nothing we want anybody to stress over. I am not a math person. The thought of having to take a math placement exam sounds scary. But really, it's just to make sure that we're not placing you in a course that's way below or way above where your current skill set is. So be honest on the math placement test and try not to stress about it. It's just to make sure we're doing the best we can to put you in the right spot.
All right, thank you.
My son is an athlete. Will
Yeah.
the coaches be involved in roommate selection and housing selection? Great question. Yes, any student who wishes to request a roommate is able to do that right on the housing portal. Sorry if you see my cat moving around over here. Just see her paws hanging out. So any student can request a roommate right in the housing portal, which will open March 1st. Coaches typically provide us with a list after talking with athletes of which athletes will be rooming together. So certainly something that your student should talk directly with their coach about.
Yeah, we
It's
have
a
a
great
lot of athletes in the ED group, so that's like a very good relevant
Right.
question for you all. Who wants to tackle? Someone's asking about the dual enrollment, AP credits, IB credits.
I'm going to take that one. So, yes, we do accept dual enrollment and AP credits and IB credits. So, there's a limit to how many we accept towards your graduation. If you are taking AP courses, we will accept AP test exams. And we'll take the AP courses. But the test exams will tell us, like, there are some departments that if you score a 4 or a 5, they will waive you out of the introductory level course that might be required for you to take upper level courses. And so it will also help your advisor. So if you're taking AP Calc and you get a 5 on your AP Calc exam, that will tell me which level of math I'm going to place you in or suggest you take. So the problem with the AP scores is that the AP doesn't release them until the middle of the summer. So they'll release them to you, but they won't necessarily release them to us. So some of that we have to go back and flex about, but it'll be a conversation that you'll have with your advisor. Great question.
Yeah. Someone wants to know, so is there a suggested date for completing the first year seminar form or advantage to completing it early?
So, we recommend, especially for the ED students, because we do track your preferences. Once that the portal, once everybody else enrolls, they will also have access to it. So if you sign in early, we will run those early, so that we know what your preferences are. So we begin that placement at an earlier stage. So yeah, the earlier the better. We should probably have by the 3rd week of February, 1st week of March, we'll have all the information up on the website. I'm hoping earlier, but we're working on it.
Yeah. I think a good rule of thumb is just get the stuff done earlier rather than later, and don't wait around for us to come nag you about it. So someone's interested in, I think they mean the teacher education program, doing teaching.
Right.
Can anyone talk about steps? Because that is a little bit unique, right? Instead of declaring a regular major, the timeline's a little bit different.
It is a little bit different, but they're making some changes for this incoming first year class. And so I don't want to misspeak, but there's nothing you need to do in your first semester. Except for maybe attend the interest meeting about the TEP program and make yourself known to the TEP program. Andy Husky is the director and faculty member in the of the teacher education program. She's also going to be teaching a first year seminar, so you might want to look at hers if you're interested in teaching. But you do not need to take a teaching first year seminar, and you don't have to do anything.
Another
Good question. How accessible are professors?
Yep.
Well, Susan's a professor, and here she is on a Zoom with you. I would say that professors, faculty members are very accessible. Many live in Geneva. You'll see folks at Wegmans when you're getting groceries. You'll see them at Walgreens when you're getting a prescription. You'll see them walking their kids and their pets around campus. Many faculty members may invite you over to their homes at the end of the semester for a meal. There's really no HWS experience in which you don't know faculty members on a really personal basis and they know you. If you're hoping to sort of hide and just be a number, that's going to be really difficult at HWS.
Right. Great
Just
question.
got invited to one of my former students' wedding. So we're pretty connected here. Did somebody want to come off and ask a question?
Yeah, other things we haven't, I mean, we've covered a lot, but we want to make sure you have all of your answers tonight before we.
I have a question real quick. When does orientation start? And does it matter if you're an athlete on when you have to be there or if there's a certain section of orientation dedicated to athletes?
That's a great question. Do you have the orientation date handy?
Yes, it is. The orientation begins on August 27th. Are you a fall sport, Joey?
Winter sport.
You're a winter sport.
Yeah.
So, you don't have to worry about, you probably, I don't know if you'll be coming early, that your coaches will tell you. The fall athletes usually come to campus early because they start actually training and practicing and also competing during orientation. Athletes, fall athletes have a specific spark that they do, but I'm not sure that that applies to winter athletes. It does not. So there's nothing special that you're going to have to do unless your training starts early, and your coach will tell you. But
I
orientation.
assume there probably are some fall athletes on the call, so you will arrive to campus early. And we have great relationships, right, with our athletic staff. So we work with them on what orientation sessions are really important for you to attend and which ones can maybe be made up later or handled, in a different format through athletics. So it won't be on you as a student to negotiate your time during orientation. We will have taken care of all of that ahead of time. Typically, first year or fall athletes arrive about 2 weeks early, give or take, and depending on the sport, but your coach will let you know.
So,
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Shelley, I feel like you'd be a good person to talk about what sort of activities students look forward to each year, or like what are some of the fun or popular things that we host for our students.
Yeah, it's like it's always popping. There's really always something to do. But there are a lot of like large scale signature, we call them our signature events, that are really cool. So coming up the first weekend of the spring semester every year, we have something called Winter Wonderland, where we transform campus into a winter wonderland. So we have horse-drawn carriages, and we have ice sculptures and fire pits and laser light shows on the outside of our most popular buildings. And we have some years we have an ice skating rink at that event. So it's like something everybody shows up and shows out for. But we also have a lot of events every single day, from speakers on different topics to club meetings to different student-led events. So if you have a specific interest and you'd like to be part of a club, we certainly want you to be involved outside of your academic and athletic experience. We have over 100 clubs and organizations to choose from. If none of them meet your needs, then we'll work with you to start your own club, and we'll give you a budget for that so that you've got some startup funds to be able to get your club up and running. So if you're bored, you're doing something wrong, and I hope you come and see me so we can figure out a way to make sure you're maximizing your experience.
Someone asked another good question about mental health and wellness support. So could someone talk just quickly about what kind of resources we have on campus for that?
Yep. So we have a large staff of full-time licensed mental health providers on campus that provide in-person and teletherapy options for students. And that's all covered in your health and wellness fee. So there's no copay for mental health services. And unlike many other institutions, there's no cap on the amount of sessions that you can have. So you could see a therapist at HWS every 2 weeks for your full 4 years, and you're not going to pay anything extra for that service. We have really beefed up our counseling center post-COVID, sort of recognizing the need for additional mental health and wellness services. We're in the process of becoming a JED campus, which is one of the highest achievements that an institution of higher education can have as it relates to mental health and wellness. And so we really prioritize making sure we're taking really good care of students and getting you connected early.
Great. This next question is a good segue. I want to make sure before we lose people, like just to talk about, this is a what's next, but what's next as far as like maybe visiting us and engaging with other admitted students. So we do have 4 admitted student days happening on campus. And someone mentioned that February 8th is our first one. And since most of you are enrolled and excited, we're hoping that you'll think about joining us for that. We also have one on March 8th, April 12th, and April 26th. So 4 big events on campus and ways to connect and meet other students. So I think it could be helpful, right? If you want to get a lay of the land or maybe connect with some faculty. Part of that is a big expo, right? Where you get to go around and meet lots of faculty and staff from the different departments and offices. So that could be helpful in you figuring out a little bit more about some of those decisions that you want to make when you're filling out your forms. But we would love to see you on campus if we haven't yet. We'd love to have you revisit. Also, just want to do a quick plug. We will be doing local admitted student events around the country as well. And that information will populate in your portal. I believe how we have it set up is based on kind of where you live or where you attend school. If maybe that's away from where your hometown is, the dates will automatically populate. So you'll know if we'll kind of be in your area doing stuff. And then we have a whole bunch more of these virtual sessions too. Everything from housing, which I think is like one of the most popular ones that we do. Everyone wants to jump on and have a better understanding of housing and how it works and your options. Academic specific ones. There are a lot of great topics that we're going to be doing. That all lives in your portal too. Everything's in your portal. Like that's the takeaway tonight, right? So things that we want you to be doing, ways that we want you to be engaging. So I'm going to do a quick plug for all of those things. And we hope to connect with you in lots of different ways this spring. We're required to submit a FAFSA. Does that approval come directly to us or go through HWS?
What do you mean by approval, Tara?
Yeah, I'm a little confused about approval. So if you submit a FAFSA and you put our code down, it should automatically come to us and we would have it. You do have a spot.
Yeah.
Yes, sorry.
Yeah, I was thinking as in if FAFSA comes back and says, oh, this is some kind of financial aid, X amount of dollars. Do you find out about that, or does that come through us directly, or what's the mechanics for that?
The FAFSA doesn't decide on the financial aid, right? It goes to the schools.
Okay.
So they run their formulas and then they send it to the schools.
Yeah. So we'll be notified, or it'll come back through us from you.
Yeah.
Yeah, got it. Okay,
that's another good plug though, because we do have some ED students that have not submitted their FAFSA yet. If you're interested in need-based aid, we do need your FAFSA to package you. So if you've not yet, please do your FAFSA, put our code on it so we will get it. And then once we have that information, we can put together a need-based component to your aid package. When that is ready to go, once again, ding, 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 it will be in your portal, right? So just like your student got a message saying a decision has posted in their portal about being admitted, another one will say a decision has posted. If you go click on that latest letter and link, it will give you an updated package that has the merit component, but also the need component if you've done the FAFSA and you're seeking need-based aid. It's confusing though, so we totally get it. We also have multiple sessions on financial aid. So, and I maybe they start in a couple of weeks, but Lisa, our director, is always very accessible and available to answer questions because it is so confusing. Good. Oh, research opportunities, pre-med students. We will have a session on that, right? We always have a session, just so you know, on our health professions program. And Scott McPhail, who's our wonderful coordinator for health professions students, will lead a session. So stay tuned for that. But does anyone want to quickly speak to like research or?
Yeah, I'll do that. So, yes, we do. It's really exciting. Our faculty, our science faculty, take on student summer science researchers, where you live on campus for 8 weeks and you get paid. So we pay you to do the research. Many of our faculty actually publish with their students with the research that they do, and you're part of a cohort every Friday. All the summer summer students, researchers, and it's not always just in the sciences. Our humanities and our social sciences also have research opportunities in the summer. They all meet on Fridays, and one group will talk about the research that they're doing, and everybody gets coffee and donuts, and being here in the summer is awesome. And so my first year mentor this fall is a sophomore, and she did between her first year and her second year, she stayed on campus and did research. So she's already part of a research agenda with the faculty member. She'll work with another faculty member in a different research next summer, I think. So yes, we really like working with our students on research, and we also hire research assistants during the school year as well.
Yeah, so stay tuned for the session that will be about that. And that is also a program that has a welcome info session like in the fall, right? So for anyone who's thinking of a health professions track, Scott will host a meeting, and you can always join that and start to figure out academically how that might work and how he might advise you on some of those options. The centers, can we talk
Yeah,
about the centers and how our students can access all of our lovely centers?
yeah, let me talk about that too, because I'm very involved in the centers. Surprise, surprise. So Brady, I'm just wondering, can you tell us, is there one or two centers and in particular you're interested in? We've got a ton of them, so okay, I can talk about them generally, but if there's a couple that you're interested in, I can talk specifically.
The Centennial Center. Sorry, I'm here for my son, but he was
Oh, okay.
the Centennial Center.
Oh, great. Sure. I'd be happy to. The Centennial Center for Leadership, Entrepreneurship, and Innovation. That center is open to everybody. Some students are admitted as Centennial Scholars as part of their merit package. The Centennial Center does programming on leadership. There's a leadership certificate program. We have degrees that offer, some of our academic departments offer degrees with leadership distinction. So if you're going to get, I can't remember the departments right now that are doing it. I usually have that at the tip of my tongue, but I can't think of them right now. But like if you wanted to get a degree in business management, a bachelor's degree in business management, you could get a bachelor's degree in business management, but you could also get a bachelor's degree in business management with leadership distinction. And that means that while you're doing your degrees, you're also doing a kind of a portfolio of leadership courses and also activities and taking on leadership roles. So there's lots of opportunity to take leadership courses and also public speaking, leadership theory. We have a model of leading leading others, and leadership in action. And then on the entrepreneurial side, we have idea labs. We have a student kind of pitch group that we give them money, and students can pitch their ideas and ask for money, and it's a student run group, and they operate as angel investors basically. So that's pretty cool. And then we have our pitch contest, which is really a very cool entrepreneurial contest where students compete for $10,000 for an idea that they want to start. So that's actually coming up, and it's usually live streamed, so you should check that out. But it's open to everybody. You can get involved from day one. And when you come to campus for your admitted student days, There will be kind of a room filled with department tables and center tables, and everybody will be there to welcome you and answer all your questions. So you can go up and get goodies from each of the tables, but also talk with folks that are in that center or running those centers. And the Centennial Center is just one. We have our Center for Civic Engagement and Service Learning. We have our Finger Lakes Institute, if you're interested in doing research on water. And we're like the only place that has an institute like that. It's very cool.
They get an email, right? Someone's asking about when that portal opens March 1st. It's an email that directs them to it, correct?
Yes.
Yes, so they'll get the email, but it's the same portal that they use to apply to HWS. So it will sort of swap and switch over to have the timeline and everything and all the forms right in it. So it's the same way that you have accessed your acceptance letter, that same portal.
Yeah. The first year experience website will just provide you, like, all your FSEMs will be listed, the titles and the course descriptions, all the Spark ideas will be listed. How you fill out the form for those are in your portal. The website just gives you the timeline that's up to date, but all the other information is from last year. But the timeline is for your class, but it still gives you a sense while we're building those for next year. What kinds of things might be offered. Those are not the courses that are going to be offered, though.
That's a good sneak preview of the things we've done in the past. Someone's asking about aid toward flights, transportation. Unfortunately, we do not do that, right? I mean, we have a significant portion of our students, 60% come from out of state, right? Anyone want to add to that, or?
Yeah, so we don't offer transportation for families, but when it comes to breaks, end of the semester, students can, aside from carpooling and that type of thing, we have something called Our Bus, where students can purchase a low-cost ticket that will take them to major destinations, right? So if you're from Boston, you could take Our Bus right from HWS back to Boston for, I think it's like $30. It's really low cost. So we do have some transportation assistance, but not for families coming to HWS, just for students around those break times.
At what point, if any, will they receive an actual student email address for communication? That's a good question.
So you, I actually, I'm going to look at our timeline for when that happens. I think that once you enroll, that starts the process and you will be in our system.
I think you will get your email address right around March 1st for the ED students, because you'll get a letter in your portal that has your email address and password in it, and then you'll log in and change your password. And then from then on, once you receive that email address, you need to be checking that at least once a day or forwarding that to your personal email, because that's our primary mode of communication for students around choosing FSEMs and Sparks and things like that. So we want to be sure that you get in the process and the habit of checking that email address. Do parents come to Admitted Students Day? Is there any parent weekend that HWS hosts? Good question. Oftentimes, many families will come with their accepted student to Accepted Students Day. There are specific sessions where we split students from their families so that students are with other students, and families can ask all of those embarrassing questions that their students told them not to ask. So absolutely, we would welcome parents or families to come for Admitted Students Day. And there isn't a parent weekend, but there is a family weekend that's typically in October, where, families come back to campus and, do the Hobart football game and the tailgating and all the sort of fun college stuff. So we will welcome all of you to join us at those events.
So, and also I'm just going to add on, while it's certainly not required, parents usually will come if they can to Admitted Student Day. We do panels for parents, but also there are classes that students can choose from. Many of our faculty, I think I'm doing one during Admitted Students Day. I'm teaching a quickie little 45-minute class that you can come and kind of get a taste of what it's going to feel like, the types of classes, and parents go to those as well.
I was just looking up, it's October 3rd through 5th, according to the website, is homecoming and family weekend.
Right?
That is definitely the sort of thing that you want to book some hotels if you're planning on coming up in
Yes.
advance. That's another good tip for everyone talking about orientation, right? If you're going to be moving your child in, guess what? Everyone else is moving their child in at the same time as well. So start thinking about those reservations now. And there are a lot of great Airbnbs and other options in the area now too. Good. We had so many questions. I know we're going over. We're happy to stay as long as people have questions. Is there anything else that we have not covered people still want to know about? Oh, essentials for dorm rooms, Shelley.
It's a great question. There is a list on the orientation website of what to bring and what to leave at home. My rule of thumb is take a look at your clothes, decide what you're going to pack, and then cut that in half. You don't need everything. You do not need to bring your entire life with you. I would much rather see you prioritize bringing pictures of your pet or your friends from home, or something that reminds you of home, than bringing that 6th cardigan with you. So pack light. You can always bring more stuff from home.
I will also remind folks that we have a fall break. We have a spring break and a fall break. Our fall break, we don't have classes on a Monday and a Tuesday. So if you are in a location and you want to go home for 4 days, you can do that over the weekend and Monday and Tuesday if you live close enough to campus. So that's also a time, if you've forgotten anything, you can get. And then spring break is a week in March.
Unmuted.
I'm gonna pop my email address in the chat one more time. Don't hesitate to reach out to us.
There was one more, an exact date for move-in. So the new orientation is the 27th. That is move-in, correct?
Move-in.
Yes.
So August 27th.
Mhm.
So for people coming from further away, right, the day before, you might want to come in because we kick things off pretty early in the morning. But
And then we have kind of a send off. It's you move in, there's activities all day, there's a session for the parents, and then there's a parent send off.
yeah,
That same day.
great. So just congratulations again to all of you. We're so excited, especially for those of you that have already committed and are deciding to join our wonderful community. Please feel free to reach out to Susan or Shelley or anyone on our admissions team if you have further questions or if there are ways that we can be helpful. And like we said, we really hope to see you on campus or at one of our admitted student events this spring.